In today's news, a couple days ago, the BRICS alliance sent shockwaves throughout the Western world and the crypto community. President Putin himself confirmed the development of a new payment system that is detached from the dollar and the SWIFT system, and as such XRP had been spotlighted to be a part of this new system, to be the foundational layer. And developments surrounding the BRICS alliance hasn't slowed down in the slightest. In fact, they have just declared as crystal as day that America cannot stop them, that we are now witnessing the transition to the new international order. Listen very closely.
The expansion of BRICS is evidence of the new multipolar order taking shape. New centers of political decision-making are emerging among states of the global south and the global majority. These countries stand for a more just and fair order based on sovereign equality of states and a diversity of civilizations. The transition to the new international order, as we have seen, will take a historical era, and it will be a thorny path.
This outcome was inevitable. America's bully tactics were only going to last so long, and in fact, would you be surprised if I was to tell you, or rather if I was to show you, that this shift in global powers, the BRICS rising and the dollar collapsing, the XRP's takeover, it was all pre-planned years and years ago. As we can see and hear in this interview with Jim Rickards back in October of 2014, almost 10 years ago, he confirms that the death of the dollar was intentionally put into motion. This is all controlled demolition. Pay close attention.
One of the big props under the US dollar has been what's called the petrodollar deal. This is something that came out in the mid-1970s, again, a time when the dollar was under attack. And the United States, through Henry Kissinger, said to the Saudi Arabians, look, we will guarantee your security, the continuation of the rule of the House of Saud and the national security of Saudi Arabia, because they were weak militarily and they had I like to say the Middle East is a bad neighborhood, they had a lot of enemies. In exchange, we want you to price oil in dollars. There's no reason why oil has to be priced in dollars. It could be priced in today, euros, back then, Deutschmarks, Swiss francs, Japanese yen, gold. You can price oil a lot of different ways. But they agreed to price it in dollars in exchange for our guarantee of their continued rule and their national security. That deal worked beautifully for 30 years, through the 80s, the 90s, the early 2000s. It really did put a floor under the dollar. But just last December 2013, President Obama reneged on the deal. He engaged in the beginning of détente with Iran, which is a bitter enemy of Saudi Arabia. So the U.S. is now saying to Iran, hey, you're our cop on the beat, you're our best friend in the Middle East. Well, this is a stab in the back to the Saudis. By the way, Saudi sells most of the oil these days to China, not the United States. So how long will it be before Saudi Arabia says, okay, China, we'll take your currency in exchange for oil, or maybe we'll take gold, or China buys gold and gives us gold and we'll send you the oil. But one way or another, the dollar is out of the picture. Again, that hasn't happened yet, but that process is already underway. So this is one of many threats to the reserve currency status of the dollar. And when that status goes away, as I described, you could be back to a world of, borderline hyperinflation in the U.S.
This is crucial information, very, very big news. But now the common question that I keep seeing all over Twitter and even in my comment section is, why would the BRICS alliance use Ripple and XRP as they are an American company? Which is a fair question. Well, keep this in mind, despite the fact that America are trying to make amends right now, Ripple was abandoned by America years ago, mainly thanks to poor policies and the SEC with Gary Gensler. Know this, 95% of Ripple's business is outside the US. I know they're an American company, but most of their company isn't even in the US. Most of their partnerships are not even in the US right now. And they have many partnerships with the BRICS alliance. So the BRICS could potentially utilize Ripple and XRP as a medium of exchange, as a bridge to keep connected to the Western world, all the while shifting the dynamic of powers in their favour. We can see here from Smoke, CBDCs, the MENA region, Qatar and Ripple. Quote, Ripple established a headquarters in Dubai to support customers like Qatar that are using RippleNet, which is very big news as Qatar has just begun their phase 1 of their pilot program, but also because Dubai, the United Arab Emirates, recently became a part of the BRICS alliance at the beginning of this year 2024. Furthermore, as we can see here from Chad and Megan in this interview, Saudi Arabia to India RippleNet corridors interview is from 2019, 5 years ago. Listen closely.
Future proof technological solution. And at the top of these solutions, we found Ripple to manage our, or to address all our strategic asks, which is basically a fast, cheap, transparent, and safe transaction.
As a receiving bank in India, I mean, we are one of those players who are extremely focused as far as cross-border payments is concerned, and remittances is a big opportunity for India in the overall scheme of things, with the last World Bank report having talked about almost 79 billion coming into the country in 2018. When we first met Mr. Rao from Ripple, it happened at one of the large global networking events. We realized that it's something which is very different and very unique, and what the world had not seen all this while, and sort of lashed onto the opportunity, got discussing, trying to figure out what is it that we could do.
During our search for a partner on Ripple, we partnered with Indocent for many, many reasons. We've gone through a lot of selection criteria and due diligence, and we started to collectively start this journey together. The fact that you can see where a transaction is happening, so it tells you that it left the organization, it's on the way to be received to the other client and then received by other client. So we'll have to build a customer experience around that to make sure that the customer feels so comfortable when using it.
It has been one of the most pleasant experiences in terms of going live with a new partner.
And now keep this in mind that Saudi Arabia is also a new BRICS member like the United Arab Emirates as well, and India is a founding member of the BRICS alliance. Both these two countries are deeply connected to Ripple, and with this interview from 5 years ago, this is also further evidence that Xrp'S takeover was pre-planned years ago. Nothing can stop de-dollarization, as the BRICS alliance have already mentioned, and therefore nothing can stop Xrp'S takeover. Ripple partner Bank of America. So America's largest banker now stating this, released a document, an article, 2024 Capital Market Outlook. It discussed BRICS creation of a joint currency, and erosion of the dollar's current position in the financial system is inevitable. Quote, partial de-dollarization is here to stay. Therefore, the financial paradigm shift is officially here. But that is not all. Russia just announced that digital currency trade begins in 2025, only next year, with central banks of the BRICS plus nations, local currencies between nations therefore, trading in real time with no SWIFT system, with no US dollar. And Ripple and Xrp are the likely candidates to act as a bridging mechanism for this new BRICS payment system and the rest of the Western world, and the whole world for that matter. And the best part about all of this, as you just read, 2025 next year is when this is going to go down. Everything therefore has been pre-planned. Xrp's price pre-planned, the flip of the switch date has all been pre-planned. All of this has been pre-planned. This article here from the World Bank showcases that we are just at the ending stage of growth, adoption of cryptocurrency, adoption of crypto technology, and next year 2025 is the year of market maturity, when blockchain adoption is considered mainstream and integral to the capital markets ecosystem. Or how about this here from Cyprus here, in the words of ANZ Bank representative, adoption will be gradual and then sudden, but we are now at the tipping point.
I think blockchains and digital assets are the future of finance, really, for many, many asset classes. Yes, the regulation needs to evolve and mature, and certainly there needs to be critical mass of both buyers and sellers and lenders and borrowers. But as more banks like ANZ get involved with the services I described around tokenization and smart contract provision, wallet infrastructure, if that's coming from a trusted counterparty like a bank, like ANZ, our customers are going to be much more inclined to reveal to themselves the benefit of fast settlement times, very low transaction costs. It's going to be gradual, then sudden. And I think that's the evolution. Now, that gradual may take longer than we hope or wish, But I do think there will be a tipping point where momentum in the asset markets that are digitized and tokenized will show that the transformation has occurred.
So again, this is further proof to you that Xrp'S takeover, all of this was pre-planned its price, therefore also it was all pre-planned, and the BRICS alliance will play an integral factor in this dynamic shift. Adoption is still happening gradually, the markets are still maturing. We are very, very early, but soon there will be a sudden explosion in adoption, in price and liquidity for assets and institutions like Ripple and Xrp. The BRICS know this. They are very, very well aware of this dynamic shift that's currently undergoing right now. They're the ones driving this factor seemingly. The BRICS know this. They effectively have confirmed this, and it's been in the motion for at least 10 years. That's why you can't look short term. So think long term, and I'll see you in the next one.